Today is Saturday, April 30th, 2005, and this is the beginning of an interview with Gerald Mock at his home at 806 Chestnut Street in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Gerald Mock is 79 years old, having been born on April 2nd, 1926. My name is Emily Golden, and I will be the interviewer. He is my grandfather. He is my mother's father. Okay. Could you please state for the recording what war and branch of service you served in?
I was in World War II. I was in U.S. Army.
What was your rank?
My rank, I ended up as a technician, 5th grade, T5.
What was the length of your service?
Approximately 2 years.
Where were the places that you served during the war?
France and Germany.
Can you name the nature of your duties during the war?
I was a company runner for our company, which is a company of the 254th Infantry Battalion and 63rd Division.
Okay. Did you volunteer or were you drafted?
I was drafted.
How old were you whenever you were drafted?
18 years old.
What can you remember about boot camp?
Well, I started on boot camp at Fort Belvoir, Virginia, in the engineering, and later on I was transferred to Texas, to Camp House, and I was in the infantry then because of the breakthrough at the Battle of the Bulge.
Okay. Can you briefly describe the military food? Did you eat Spam or SOS?
Well, our food, we had mess kits, and an awful lot of our food, I guess, was K rations and food that was actually didn't need refrigerated at all. Biscuits and stuff of that nature, and Spam, meat.
Did you like or dislike the food?
Well, I wasn't too happy with it, but that was the best under the conditions. We had no fresh food.
Did you get any character building duties like KP, mess hall?
Oh yes, I had KP quite often there, peeling potatoes and cleaning dishes and so on, waiting on the soldiers.
What do you remember about your officers?
My officers, most of them were out of West Point, and they were career officers.
Were there any regulations in the service that were very frustrating?
Yes, had to have lights out at 10 o'clock at night, and had to be up early in the morning all the time, bright and early, and be ready for anything at any time that was directed to you by the officers and the
Who was the most unforgettable character that you ever met in the service?
Well, there were several of my friends while I was in there, and actually there was nobody that actually stood out as any number one character. After the war was over, why, I had three fellows that were stationed with me for almost a period of a year that I remember pretty well. One was from Detroit, one was from Texas, and one was from California.
What were your opinions of the equipment, clothing, rations, and training of the U.S. military?
Well, I guess they were the best that they had at that particular time, and everybody had the same, so yeah. So you were quite satisfied with it.
What part of the world did you like best in your military experience?
I like probably Germany and Switzerland. I spent a week in Switzerland, which was very nice on a furlough. I was there.
Was this your first time away from home?
No, previously I spent a year working down in Baltimore, Maryland for a steel company prior to being inducted into service.
What did you miss the most about the United States?
Well, like everybody else, you would be homesick and things were altogether different, battle conditions and everything else. And you miss being home, I guess, at that time.
Did you take part in any combat action?
Yes, our division took the city of Heidelberg, Germany, which was a university town, and also I spent time at Marburg, Germany, and we had some combat at Leipzig prior to the end of the war there with some German soldiers, and the bridge was blowing up while we were there.
How did you and your comrades regard enemy troops as fighters?
Well, they were the enemy, and they were out to kill the Americans, and the Americans were out to kill them again.
Please describe your baptism of fire and your reaction to that experience.
Well, baptism of fire when we were in an open field, and it was at nighttime, and it was pretty chilly, so we had a bonfire, and all of a sudden a plane came from nowhere and started strafing the area, and we all ran for cover.
If you or your close friends were ever wounded in action, please recount the circumstances.
No, I was never wounded in action, very fortunately, and some of my friends were, but none of them, my close friends actually were killed at all.
What impact did the USO have on your military experience?
Well, it was a nice place to go, but we didn't, actually, we didn't have many USOs where we were located at all because of the battle area and that. Most of our time was spent overseas.
Did you see any famous people at the USO shows?
Oh yes, I saw several. Bob Hope for one, I saw, and Jerry Colonna, and I don't think of who else did I see. That was in Germany, we had a show, so that's about the only ones I can remember now.
Did you use email?
Yes, I used it to send letters back home.
Can you explain how it was used?
Not too well, but I remember this. You sent the letters is all I know, and it's been so long ago I can't remember too much. You're talking about 60 years ago.
Yeah. Did you have an email that was censored?
I would imagine it was censored there, any mail we sent out, because they didn't want anybody to know our position or anything, any enemy.
Were you able to receive mail very often?
Yes, I received mail overseas, but it was weeks or a month later than when they sent it.
What was your immediate reaction to being discharged?
Well, I was glad to be out of the service and all its regulations and everything, and actually I didn't want to re-enlist or keep on with any duties in the Army. I was very satisfied to get out.
Did you participate in any welcoming home celebrations?
No, not at the time, no. Because the war was over for quite a while then, and we were discharged individually while we just went home.
How did the government reward veterans for their service in the war?
Well, because I was in service, I managed to get a education under the GI Bill of Rights, which the government paid for my 4 years of college at the University of Pittsburgh.
Do you think that the government did enough to reward the veterans?
In my case, I would say yes, and I got a college education free.
Did many of the soldiers decide to act upon that bill?
Oh yeah, a lot of them, bought a house, and a lot of them went to college, and others were able to afford the down payment for a house because of the bill.
Okay, that's all the questions. Do you have anything else?
No.